What's up, riders? Old man Ronin here. Welcome back to the channel. We're talking Sportsters today, and why I think the 1200C is without a doubt the greatest Sportster ever built. Want to know why? Stay tuned. So why do I think the 1200C is the greatest Sportster ever built? Well, let me give you a couple things to think about. You know, when I first started riding motorcycles, I was 6 years old, but I had like a mini motorcycle. It was a Rupp 100. But by the time I got to 14, I had already had a YZ 125 and an RM 250. And I found an old wrecked XLCH that you couldn't take on the road anymore. The frame was a little bent, that type of stuff. It was pretty bad shape, so I bought it for next to nothing. And I ended up putting knobby tires on it, straightened the frame the best I could. It was completely unsafe by the time. I mean, I beat the heck out of it. Tried to spot weld it the best I could at a young age to fix the bends in the frame. And then I rode it on the dirt, and I mean, I tore the living tar out of it. So much so, by the time I was able to ride a motorcycle on the road, that bike was long gone. In other words, I had pretty much blown it up, cracked the block, whole 9 yards. So it was a non-factor for me to ride it on the road. But I loved that motorcycle. So I went out and bought myself another Sportster. And then I bought another one. And through the years, I've always had a Sportster in the garage. Right now we have three. One our daughters, our wife's, and then my 1200C. But that gives you an idea of how much Sportsters mean to me to begin with. But let's talk about why I think it's the greatest one, the 1200. Since I've had everything from 1000cc to an 883 to 1200s. The reason why I think the 1200C is such a great motorcycle is the fact that it is a complete blank canvas. Let's talk about the two most popular Harleys for sales in 2020 this year and 2019 or last year, and that was the Softail Standard and of course the Electroglide Standard. Those two motorcycles are selling like hotcakes, and there's a reason why. Number one, they're less expensive than some of the other ones. But another reason is the fact that it's kind of a blank canvas. And I'm going to put, if you've seen, as I was mentioning, I put the pictures up in the corner there. But now I'm going to show you a 1200C. It really has the same kind of look, don't you think? It's kind of a blank canvas, as opposed to like the 48, the Iron 1200, the Iron 883, the Roadster. Any of the models that are out there right now, the 72, any of the models that were out recently or out right now, it looks completely different. It looks like a plain Jane motorcycle, just like the Softail Standard and just exactly like the Electroglide Standard. And the reason why those two motorcycles are very popular is because you can do whatever you want to make them your bike. In other words, you can make it your own by buying something that's not got a look to it already and then putting whatever you want onto it. And that's why I think the 1200 Custom is such a great motorcycle, because it does have that look to it. It's got that everyday look that's not really impressive, but you can make it whatever you want. And with the Sportster aftermarket support that's so prevalent, I mean, we have two companies in Ohio. One of them you see on my t-shirts all the time, Lowbrow Customs. Now, I have nothing to do with them, but I love their products. And the other one is TC Bros, which I love their products and I have nothing to do with them either. But those two suppliers have a tremendous amount of Sportster products, along with Revzilla, Get Lowered, and some of the other ones as well too. They specialize in, because there's so many Sportsters out there. Another reason why I think the 1200C is a great motorcycle platform, or the greatest one of all, is the fact that you already have a big bore engine in it. Now let's think about this. How many times have you seen on Facebook Marketplace or your newspaper ads or whatever, it says 883 Custom with a big bore 1200 kit in it? Or everybody that has an 883, which are the most prevalent motorcycles Harley makes, wants to put a 1200 kit in to get more performance and more speed. Well, guess what, folks? The 1200C already has that. And if you want to juice it up a little bit more, they make a 1250, which I have a 1250 kit in this baby right here. And they also have a 1275 that you can get as well too. You can't really go above that because just the housings and the frame and stuff. I mean, you can buy bigger engines for it. I think S&S has one for like $8,000, and you can put a really big engine in your Sportster. But for the average Joe, you already have a 1200 kit in your motorcycle, so you really don't need to add anything to it unless you have a lot of money. And you can do whatever you want. But again, the fact that we have so much aftermarket support, you can do anything you want. You want to make this into a scrambler, you can make it into a scrambler, a bobber, a chopper, a hardtail, whatever you desire. The 1200 Custom is a blank canvas for you to start and make it whatever you want it to be. Now, the one that I have, this is a 2009, and this is going to be something that's going to be more targeted towards the chopper guys and the scrambler guys. The 2009 1200C came with a 21-inch tire, rim and tire on it, and the 21-inch tire is absolutely perfect for off-road riding. My Himalayan has a 21-inch tire. It enables you to go over things a lot easier, big bumps and stuff like that in the road. So I think if you're going to buy a motorcycle that you want to turn into a scrambler, start with a 1200C with the 21-inch tire on it. And for you chopper guys, all the choppers want that big 21-inch tire on it. So what you do then is you just extend the forks up a little bit, put your Springer front end if you want on it, and you have a chopper style with very little work whatsoever, which is yet another reason why I think the 1200C is a fantastic blank canvas. Now I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, but you get a iron 1200. Yeah, you can get the iron 1200 or the old 72, but the 72 has that 21-inch tire on the front end, just like the 1200 Custom. Some of the newer Customs, though, they went to a little shorter and fatter tire. They went back to the 17-inch, and that's cool. I mean, you can find them, and then you can put a 21 on if that's the way you want to go. But some of the older 21 or the older 1200 Customs already have that look, and I love a 21-inch tire for cornering better than I do the smaller tire personally. But that's a personal preference choice. I like to dig it down in the corners really well, and it does that with ease. But the fact of it is that you've got a motorcycle that is basically a blank canvas. You've got a motorcycle that has tremendous aftermarket support, and you have a motorcycle that's relatively inexpensive. And there's plenty of them out there. I mean, when I got this motorcycle, I looked at several 1200Cs before I settled on this one. Now this one, I think I mentioned before in some of my other videos, was literally a train wreck. I mean, it was a piece of garbage, actually. It was seized. I had to rebuild the engine, take it down to the frame, powder coat it. The kid that had it, who lived in Florida, and he rode it on the beach, and then was married to a woman who hated motorcycles. I mean, hated him. So he made a decision. He didn't want to ride because his wife didn't want him to ride. So with that said, he took this bike brand new when he bought it brand new, rode it all around on the beach, got married, and then let it sit for 8 years. Like I said, the engine, the clutch, everything was seized up. There was rust all over it. It was not in the best of shapes, I mean, that's an understatement. But last year, and 2019, 2020, I rebuilt this thing during the winter. I wish I'd had the channel then, that you guys could have came with me and seen me do it. But unfortunately, I didn't start the channel until a couple months ago. But that was my big, some of the old Instagram stuff. You can see some of the pictures of me tearing it apart. So if you're not a member of Instagram, you've seen it at the beginning of the video here. Follow me on Old Man Ronin on Instagram, and sometimes you see a little bit of the older stuff if you go back through the pictures and things of that nature. So, but again, getting to my point, they're relatively inexpensive, and you can pretty much do whatever you want to with them. One of the things about the 1200C, besides the fact that there's tremendous aftermarket support, which is pretty much true for all Sportsters, but the blank canvas aspect and the big bore engine aspect, those are probably the most critical things that I can think of that makes it the best Sportster ever created, because it is literally anything you want it to be. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this short video today. It was kind of different. I normally don't say things that dramatic as the best ever, but in my opinion, it is a great motorcycle for you to start to make. You know, it might be the first one that you've ever done that you can make your own. In other words, that let's say you're not really efficient with a wrench, or you don't have any welding capabilities or things of that nature. Well, you can buy one of these things, and you can do some quick bolt-ons that are just super simple, you know, going through Lowbrow Customs, and I'll put their link in the description along with TC Bros, that you can see exactly what you can do with these particular models. And everything is model specific too. There's certain years that you can get certain parts and certain you can't. So, well, if you really like this video, give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, share, and comment. You know, I read all the comments and comment on all the comments, but I'd like to take a little bit of time to tell you to share videos too. I'm going to challenge you to share it to 5 of your motorcycle friends and ask them to subscribe, because we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and when we get there, that's going to really open the door. That's a huge milestone for YouTubers, and I'm almost there. Not quite. I'm adding subscribers every day, and I've got a lot of watch hours, which means we're on track to do really well. But I want you to do that for us and help us get to that 1,000 subscribers, which is going to open the door and make us a bigger and better channel. And also, when you're doing your comments, let me know what you'd like to see more of. Like I said, I read all the comments and comment on almost all the comments. Well, until next time, make sure you ride safe, guys, and keep her on two wheels, baby.